Hello Hazers, welcome back to the channel. If you've been seeing headlines about new e-bike laws coming out of New York, you're probably wondering if something is actually about to change or is this just a bunch of noise? Right now, none of this is law, but there are real proposals being discussed. And today I want to walk through them just the same way we did with New Jersey, calmly, clearly, and without the panic. We're covering all this because these laws can open up doors that are very hard and sometimes just impossible to close. So let's start with the one that most people are concerned with: registration and licensing. At the state level, there are proposals that would require certain e-bikes to be registered and entered into the state system. And in some versions, that means directly connected to the DMV. On paper, this is framed as accountability. The idea is simple. If enforcement knows who's riding what, it's easier to deal with the bad behavior. But here's what this actually means. The moment e-bikes touch the registration system, they stop being treated purely like bicycles. Even if a proposal doesn't mention insurance or inspection, riders don't stop thinking there, because historically, that's how these systems grow. And these kinds of systems don't roll out evenly. They almost always show up first where enforcement already exists. Data and identifiers, tracking without the plates. There's another piece tied to registration that doesn't get talked about much. Some proposals don't jump straight to license plate. Instead, they talk about identifiers, unique ID numbers, databases, or records tied to the user and the bike itself. What that means is tracking doesn't have to look like tracking. You don't need a plate on the back of your bike if there's already a record somewhere tying that bike to a rider. Enforcement doesn't need visibility, they just need access to the database. Today, it's just registration, but later that database can be used against riders to support new rules and laws. But this matters because once data collection exists, it tends to expand quietly. Quick pause. If you want to support this channel and keep these kinds of breakdowns coming, that's what the Hazers membership is for. A lot goes into these videos, like research, time, planning, production choices, things you don't really think about when you're watching, and some of those choices are very intentional. Anyway, back to New York. Class 3 e-bikes, where this gets real. This is one of the most consequential parts of what's being discussed. There are proposals that would treat Class 3 e-bikes differently, restricting where they can be used, carving them out of certain infrastructure, and limiting where they can be sold. We'll talk about that shortly. And just like it always is, it's framed as safety. What this actually means is this: Class 3 e-bikes can stay technically legal, but functionally unusable. You can't ride them where you actually need to ride them, and you can no longer replace or repair them easily. That's why a lot of riders care about this. A lot of people rely on Class 3 e-bikes specifically to replace cars. Restricting the access doesn't look like a ban on paper, but it feels like one in real life. Sales restrictions, the quiet way categories disappear. This is one of the most important parts of what's being discussed, and it's also one of the easiest to misunderstand. Instead of banning e-bikes outright, some proposals and city-level discussions focus on restricting sales of any Class 3 e-bikes. So, what shops are allowed to sell, which models are considered compliant, and what standards a bike has to meet before it's even offered to a consumer. Now, on paper, this sounds kind of reasonable because it's framed as consumer safety or quality control. And most importantly, it lets lawmakers say something very specific: we're not banning e-bikes. But here's what this actually looks like in real life. If you already own a bike, you're probably fine for now. But the moment you need to replace it, upgrade it, or even find a comparable model, your options just start shrinking. Shops stop carrying certain bikes, manufacturers stop shipping to certain areas, and the replacement parts just dry up. Nothing feels dramatic, and nothing looks like a ban, but access quietly collapses. Sales restrictions don't change behavior overnight, but they do change the market. Future riders are the first ones to be affected. Lower income riders are hit harder, and delivery riders lose replacement options the fastest. Over time, what's technically legal becomes irrelevant because the category you rely on simply just isn't available anymore. And this is how they can say that they never banned anything, while still shrinking a category year after year until it's completely gone. Quieter moves: helmets, fines, and definitions. There are also proposals that sound smaller but stack over time. The adult helmet mandate, tied to population thresholds, essentially in New York City, sometimes use a broader language, like electric mobility devices, instead of e-bike. And here's why that matters. Helmet rules create enforcement touchpoints, reasons to stop riders, and it stacks easily with other rules later. For example, you're riding in Manhattan, but you are riding an e-bike on a sidewalk. You can get a $100 riding an e-bike on a sidewalk fine, plus a no helmet fine, and reckless operation. That stacks up quickly and raises fines significantly. And the definition creep blurs its bicycle status without officially reclassifying anything at all. Enforcement: how rules become real. Across all the proposals, there's actually a consistent pattern. It's the enforcement. Not just what the rule says, but how they're applied. Civil violations escalate, summonses replace warnings and tickets, and how they treat repeat offenders turns into escalating fees. How it is enforced is where riders actually start to feel the change before the actual laws shift. What is not happening? Let's ground this. There are no statewide registration laws, no insurance mandate, or a blanket e-bike ban. None of that is happening right now, but all of this is being actively considered. New York is talking more seriously about e-bikes, especially in cities, but proposals are not yet policy. This is a state to watch, not to panic about for now. And if you ride an e-bike or want to stay ahead of where these laws are heading, make sure that you're subscribed. I don't do panic updates, I don't do rumor videos, I only go over real proposals and real laws. When something actually changes, we break it down clearly and calmly right here. Hazers out.